Oh, all to the borders, Vermonters, come down, with your breeches of deerskin and jackets of brown, with your red woolen caps and your moccasins, come to the gathering summons of trumpet and drum. Come down with your rifle, let gray wolf and fox howl on in the shadow of primitive rocks. Let bare feet securely from pig pen and stall, here's two-legged game for your powder and ball. And cheer, cheer, the Green Mountaineer, and cheer, cheer, the Green Mountaineer. On the south came the Hessians, our land to police, and armed for the battle while canting of peace. On our east came the British, the red-coated band, to hang up our leaders and eat up our land. Oh, all to the rescue, for Satan shall work, no gain for the legions of Hampshire and York. They claim our possession, the pitiful knaves. The tribute we pay shall be prisons and graves. And cheer, cheer, the Green Mountaineer, and cheer, cheer, the Green Mountaineer. We owe no allegiance, we bow to no throne. Our ruler is law, and the law is our own. Our leaders themselves are our own fellow men, who can handle the sword and the scythe and the pen. Hurrah for Vermont, for the land that we till must have sons to defend it from valley and hill. Our vow is recorded, our banner unfurled, in the name of Vermont we defy all the world. And cheer, cheer, the Green Mountaineer, and cheer, cheer, the Green.
Post April 6th YouTube channel. Vlog about Eddie SUSSMAN in Vermont, who moves to Venice Beach, California. Take 2. Hi YouTube fans, this is Matt of Post April 6th YouTube channel. I felt it would be best to do this vlog over because the first one, of which I did not upload, turned out to be a real flop. I mean, not just thumbs down, it's like Siskel and Ebert, 2 thumbs down. It stunk. It really did. So before I do the reading, let me point out something that I purchased. It's almost a couple of weeks ago by now. A Sheraton Distinction briar pipe that was an estate pipe. Look at this baby. It's well made. That's an actual pipe made by Sheraton. Look. Alrighty, let me light up my pipe before I do the reading. Okay, what Eddie SUSSMAN is about the main character, about the story. I originally wrote in the first paragraph of the story about March 1st, 2015, I was not thinking quite at the big picture and inside the box as I should have when I wrote this story. Him moving to Venice Beach, California to take possession of a house that is no more than about 2.5 to 3 blocks away from the Venice Beach area of the Pacific Ocean. He probably moved in somewhere between April 22nd and April 28th of 2015, not March 1st. Oh goodness, gotta relight my pipe already. So why don't I go ahead and start reading. Edward Jackson SUSSMAN was born... Oh goodness, let me say that again. Edward Jackson SUSSMAN was a man who was 49 years old on March 1st, 2015, and let me make a correction on that again. Somewhere between April 22nd and April 28th of 2015. He was often well dressed, even when he wore a t-shirt and cheap khaki shorts he bought at J.C. Penney's. He lived in Newport, Vermont, all of his life up until when he moved, which was somewhere between April 22nd or 23rd of 2015, or April 28th at the latest. For the last 10 years tenure in Vermont, he owned and operated a newsstand store that sold newspapers from 2 to 5 major cities in the United States. Thus, he sold 120 different types of newspapers, because the ones that would be in the 5 major states, or by 5 major cities, would be these: Los Angeles, California, New York City, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, and probably Boston, Massachusetts would be the top 5 that sell the most often. Okay, so I'll keep reading. And his retail enterprise sold 300 magazines of various genres, 28 styles of men's t-shirts with decal graphics on them, kind of like this one. From sizes small to double extra large or 2 extra large, 2XL. 4 different types of men's athletic socks, size 10 to 13 only. Plus, he sold 12-ounce cups of coffee in the following blends: Colombian, French roast, dark roast, breakfast blend, light roast, and custom blend entitled Book Nook Medium Roast. The Book Nook Medium Roast, I personally would feel, would be his best seller. And if it wasn't that, the breakfast blend is definitely a close second. Excuse me, I will be and I will continue reading. The cup of coffee cost only $1.05, making it one of the cheapest making it one of the cheapest cups of coffee in the United States. Oh goodness, the pipe's acting up again. The coffee was served inside a disposable cup with a lid that had a sipping port, meaning one sipping port. And the coffee cup had the logo of Newport's Newsstand and Readers, because Newport's Newsstand and Readers was the official title of the retail store and the business enterprise. It was registered under Articles of Incorporation or a sole proprietorship trade name registration that he filed with the state of Vermont. Eddie, as he preferred to be called, and let me repeat that, Eddie, as he preferred to be called, went from a man who was unemployed in 2004 and had to live with his mother. Sadly, his mother died on December 8th of 2008 due to suffering from cardiac arrest and a severe ischemic stroke, because the two happened pretty much simultaneously, and she was dead within less than 5 minutes. The caused her to die in her home at 8:08 p.m., and that was 8:08 p.m. December 8th of 2008 when she died. And the home that she had was inside her nice homely living room. While he lived with his mother from August of 2004 till the end of 2005, because what that means is by somewhere between November and December of 2005, when the business was really going, he already had a house that he put an offer in, and the deal was accepted, and he moved in somewhere between November and December of 2005 to take official residence of the house. And there's more about the house in a few minutes, as I continue reading. Not necessarily in a few minutes, but, well, you know what I mean. Eddie struggled to find a job in Newton, Vermont, and nearby. And a few months after he gave up looking and got information about getting financial grants from a business investing organization so he could form a retail establishment that had been missing for 14 years. And he would be filling in the void by opening a newsstand that sold over 250 types of magazines, as well as cheap cups of coffee and other appealing impulse items. After Eddie got special advisement from a local chapter of the Chamber of Commerce, Eddie did days of critical research and developed a business plan that would get him approved for a sum of $281,000 in grants needed to open a retail business, needed so that he could make money selling current prints of newspaper from all 50 states of the USA, selling magazines, reference books, men's socks, t-shirts, and other goods. After he opened the store, he instantly became quite famous. By December 31st, 2005, his store made over $300,000 in sales. Yep. His personal salary was $75,000, meaning he earned $75,000 in the year 2005, and he wasn't wealthy, but he was financially comfortable for sure. By mid-March of 2006, he took ownership of a single-family home. In fact, That's what I wrote, but let me make a correction on that. It was probably towards the end of 2005. A single-family home in Newton, Vermont, a 2-bedroom, one bathroom unit. He was able to obtain at a price of only $58,700 after the approval of a conventional home loan 30-year mortgage. Each year his salary ranged from $72,000 to $110,000 a year. For his own personal earnings. By the third quarter of 2014, he had more than enough of living in Vermont. Because he was fed up further than here. I mean, he was totally tired of it because of the ultra cold winters and some of the things that people went talking on and 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 on about while they were customers or patrons inside the store. After 49 long years of life, he was fed up with the ultra-cold winters of Vermont. He was also tired of customers coming in who were ultra-liberal customers coming in and giving too much praise, bragging, and cheering for U.S. Senators Patrick Leahy and Bernie Sanders. So in late summer of 2014, he registered a domain name and web space with Webmaster Sprockets and a catchy domain name entitled www.eddiemustmovetocalifornia.us. By the time late December of 2014 came forth, Eddie had raised $2.8 million. I repeat, $2.8 million is what Eddie raised through his website. And this was in donations. This wasn't financial investments. It was donations. All observers must realize it was more than the traffic on the web page. It was the TV news programs for news stations in New York City, Boston, Dallas, Texas, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Concord, New Hampshire, Kansas City, Kansas, and Missouri, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, San Francisco, Monterey, California, and 8 different stations in Los Angeles Metro, and 1 news station in San Diego, California, too. In mid-January 2015, Eddie had a meeting with a tax attorney and income preparation firm named Polino Zashkaya and Handels, attorneys at law and accounting. And Jack Handels was a brilliant accountant and a lawyer. He had lots of tax preparation expertise and as well as methodical legal expertise. Instead of having to pay over $1 million, he knew a plan that would make it so that he would only have to issue a check of $372,809.22 to the Internal Revenue Service. That gave him monies to take week-long trips to California and personally inspect homes he wanted to visit and see for himself. So from January to February, he visited Monterey, California, Bodega Bay, California, Malibu, California, and saw 20 homes located in Venice Beach and Santa Monica, because Venice Beach and Santa Monica are close to each other. Meanwhile, he was on a business vacation, and he has a buyer named Jeff, who was already was an assistant manager of the store and was trustworthy. At the newsstand, run the store and do the bookkeeping too, because Jeff really wanted to be able to buy that store. He really had a passion to keep working there. And what happened was he finally found a house located about 2 to 3 blocks away from the ocean, near Venice Beach, in Venice, California. And the house was on the market for over a year, and it was selling for, I originally had a mindset of $1.4 million, but I'm like, nah, nobody's going to cut down that far. I think it was somewhere between 1.15 and $1.2 million. And the actual people who were going to benefit from this weren't the owners the owners themselves, because both of the owners were deceased. The reason why is some dirty, evil, really violent psychopath carefully snuck into the house while the two were watching television, cuddled up in bed together in their bedroom, and he immediately pulled out a 10-gauge shotgun that was a semi-automatic, and he goes, and he kills them. He kills them both. And he badly defaced their face and the neck and the upper chest so bad. They probably lost each over 4 to 5 quarts of blood. Yeah. They were past anemic. There's no way they could have been revived. Yeah. And they were violently murdered. And somebody came forth who knew about the murder, and he was either not an accessory or an informant, but a person that would be the a undesignated accomplice, or they were at least an accessory in the fact that they had knowledge of how the murder happened and who did it, and when it and what was going, what they were planning, what the murderer was planning before he stuck into the house. Yeah. And that person went to the police and really did a whole lot of talking. And what happened was they the murderer or the suspect abruptly vacated his apartment. And the reason why he did that was because he knew, the murderer knew, that a friend ratted him out and turned what's called state's evidence against him. And what they did was they kept looking and looking and looking for him. And the suspect was so stupid. He buys a brand new, I think it would either be a Lotus or a high performance Mustang. A 2015 model that was, it had a big souped up engine inside there. And he right after the guy bought it, that the car dealership knew who he was because he'd received the car dealership had received information. Look for a person like this, of this description with this name. And that person, as soon as they sold the car, he told him. And he told him what direction he left the car dealership. And 3 cop cars started looking for him. And when they cornered him and they pulled the sirens and they said whatever they said over the PA to get him to pull over, he got into a very heated high-speed chase where LAPD chased him around for at least 6 miles, and the officers were driving anywhere between 75 and over 125 miles per hour to catch him. And he turns around a corner, but the way he turns, he slammed into a high concrete wall that would be called a guardrail, and he died from blunt force trauma as a result of a severe automobile accident. Yeah, and the guy couldn't be tried. Okay, so even though Eddie knows all about this, or knows a lot about it anyway, he doesn't care. He wants the house. It was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and it had some remodeling done, work to it. There was a brand new stove, there was a brand new refrigerator, and there was a brand new garage door opener inside there. And there was a really nice hot tub in the back. One of those plastic ones, so those big, huge ones that those ultra wealthy people would have, like, well, God rest his soul, like what Matthew Perry had, where he drowned, quite unfortunately. And Eddie also liked, some retail establishments that he knew he'd be close to, on top of being so close to the beach. Yeah. So, what happens is as soon as he puts in an offer on the house, Eddie comes back to Vermont. He flies back. He, when he gets back to his house, he immediately gets in touch with the realtor that he knows well, and the realtor, gave him, and Eddie started really taking notes. He says, paint all the walls, replace the dishwasher, take down that brick fixture in the back that is for decoration near the patio. Take it down. It's old, it's ugly. And he also put in a new toilet. and he also replaced the shower head and the whole thing. I mean, he painted all of the house, and then he put in a new dishwasher. He had a company come over and do it. He tore down the thing and he put it in his pickup truck and he hauled it to the dump, as well as several other trash bags. And he put in a new stove and he put in a new refrigerator, if I haven't said that before. And he, when he officially put it on the market, within less than 1 week, after 10 different people come to see this baby, he gets an offer on the house for $77,000. It's a pretty decent profit, I think. And he accepts the offer. Excuse me. And he starts going through all the things he has to go through within about 50 days to get everything going. And he trained Jeff on all that, and he vouched or co-signed on a commercial loan so that Jeff could finance taking ownership of the business, because the business was worth over $400,000 because of how much of a good business concept and how much of a reliable retail establishment it had become. And on April 23rd or 24th, when he's supposed to vacate the house so the new people can move in, he proceeds. He doesn't want to take an airplane because he has several boxes worth of stuff, and here's what he did even before that. I mean, he did a ton of packing up of boxes. I mean, geez, for over a week, that guy was only sleeping about 5-6 hours a night. I mean, he was really moving. You know, running the business, doing all the business things, and then doing all the packing and all the other stuff he had to do. And the day before he left his house for good, he had a moving company come in and load up a ton of stuff. And I mean a ton. And the day that he leaves the house, he left the coffee maker there. It was old Mr. Coffee, and he was tired of it. He was tired of looking at it. I mean, even though it made good coffee, he was just tired of looking at it. And he gets up at about 7 a.m. in the morning. He showers, shaves, and, well, you know, does that S thing that we don't talk about. And he double-checked the house to make sure he's taking everything with him. He double-checked the garage to make sure he was taking everything with him. And he double-checked the cabinetry and the kitchen to make sure he didn't forget to pack something up. And he just starts loading things up, and it's... I could be wrong about this, but I would assume because of the way things are in the East Coast, it was kind of dark in the morning. I mean, the sun was out, but it wasn't, you know, it was more like just a little after sunrise. And it was still kind of dark. And he loads everything up into the pickup bed. because it's a big pickup truck with just a topper on it. Yeah. He goes to a cafe that he loves for the last time. And then he loads up the gas tank chock full of 5 gallons, so as a precaution, so that he's good to go, and doesn't wind up between a rock and a hard place. And he proceeds to he has a smartphone on, and he just through Google Maps he just keeps turn right here, turn left here. Keep going straight until you get to such and such location. Following the instructions to a T. And he drives until he gets to... In fact, I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to do a little Google search. And I'll be back. Okay, I am back, and I tell you, it really took a considerable amount of time to figure this out through Google Maps, and Google Maps didn't want to cooperate at all. And then I went through MapQuest, and it took a little while, but it worked. And then I printed it out as as landscape instead of portrait on my printer, and the landscape version turned out really crappy. I mean, it was the most slipshod thing I've ever done, or the printer's ever done, to frustrate the hell out of me. So then I switched it to portrait, and I reduced the size of the printout from actual size down to about 80% or something, and that did a considerable lot of work. Now, before I did that, I looked up an address of a house that is for sale in Newport, Vermont. I'm not going to say the house number, but on Prospect Street, to an address that would be in Venice Beach, California, which would be Carroll Canal. There's a drastic difference in price. I think the Prospect Roadhouse was worth probably at least $150,000 or more. And I tell you, the house that was in Venice Beach, over $3 million. And believe me, they'll get it. Because it's so beautiful to see that, and living near an ocean, they'll get it. They'll get it. It's going to take a while because of the way the economy is going up and down, but sooner or later, they'll sell it. Okay, here's the other thing. Driving from here to there is a distance of 2,995.8 miles. So that is 5 miles shy of a full-blown 3,000-mile drive, which doesn't surprise me. And the time that is going to take in driving, I mean, you don't just get in the car and just keep driving until you get there. No, because what's going to happen sooner or later is you're going to fall asleep on the wheel, and you're going to be in a very bad car accident. I mean, when you really feel tired, you better pull over, find a hotel if you don't have one booked, and get out of the truck or the car, check in, and get a good night's sleep. And if you have to sleep a little later than 6-7 hours, do it. Okay, so let me do some looking here. Okay, I personally think that a good stopping spot would be in or near Omaha, Nebraska. And he's going to find a place that he feels is trustworthy after doing a search through hotels.com or Expedia, Travelocity, Booking, or whatever he decides is the best company to go with to get the best deal. And he's going to stay in a hotel in or near Omaha. And he's going to stay there. He's going to get a good bite to eat. He's going to watch a little TV, and then he's going to crash. Let's see. I would say somewhere around 11 o'clock at night. Because if he leaves around 8:30, it's probably going to take... He's probably better stop driving somewhere after 8 p.m. And he's going to stay at the hotel. And then what he's going to do is he's going to wake up the next day probably about 8:30 roughly in the morning. He's going to get showered and shaved and do all the things we need to do. And he's going to stop at a if the hotel doesn't have free breakfast, he's going to stop at a place nearby. And he's really going to he's going to fill up the gas tank, and he's really going to get cooking and get going. And he's going to keep driving because the distance between Omaha and Denver is at least 390 miles. I know that. So he's going to keep going until he gets to roughly when he gets a little past Vegas. This is day 2 of the drive-in. And the time that he gets there, I'm going to say roughly 9:30. And he's going to want to go to sleep within about 2 hours, if that. So about 11:30 at night, roughly. And he's going to sleep until at least 9:05, somewhere between 9:05 and 9:15. He's going to get up. He's going to shower and shave and do whatever else his body tells him to do. He's going to go eat breakfast, and he's probably going to fill up the gas tank again, which is a smart precaution. And he's going to keep going. 600 more miles until he gets to Carroll Canal. And let me think here a minute. He's going to keep driving until about 7:45, 8 o'clock at night. Because, see, he's going to go through some periods where he's going to be in a traffic jam. You know, it's L.A. And he's going to call his realtor, and he's going to be advised on how to cut around things. So he doesn't stay in the traffic forever. And then he's going to get to the house, and then when he gets to, and then right as he's getting near the house, he's going to call his realtor again and says, "Okay, come and meet me, and give me the keys, and have me fill out the forms that you need for me to fill out. That's a requirement for me to take full possession of this house." And then the realtor comes, has him sign a few forms, shows him the keys, points out a few things about the house, points out a few things about the area, points out some things that would be either east of him, north of him, or south of him, of areas to just stay away from it. Unless you have to go there. Just stay away because of some really bad cuckoos that are out there, or reckless drivers, or whatever the case would be as to the type of things that go on in a certain area. Then what he would do is he would start bringing out a few boxes of stuff that are in his topper camper, because he's going to park that in the garage, because the garage is fairly big. It's enough to hold at least 2 cars. And he's going to have some food sent to him, because by about, I'd say 9:30, he's really starving. The little bits of snacks ain't going to cut it, because he has a little bit of those, and then 20 minutes later, his stomach's really growling. And he orders some things through DoorDash. He orders a couple of cups, 1 iced coffee, 1 hot coffee, and he's going to get some. He's going to get some things so that he can stay good and filled up. And then he searches for some things through the internet until about a little after midnight. Then he goes upstairs and he unrolls the sleeping bag, and he puts on the pillow, and he gets into some sleepy pants, and he crashes right away because he is tired. And he sleeps the next day until a little after 8 a.m. He gets up, he orders some food, he showers and shaves and does whatever else he needs to do. And he gets some more food sent to him. And then he thought, okay, I need to get familiarized with this area. I shouldn't rely on Grubhub and DoorDash and Post-its and Postmate and Uber Eats. He says, I gotta do things more myself. So when he feels like having some lunch, he does a little Google search through his smartphone, and he goes to this really nice family restaurant, comfort food type place. Has good lunch. And he goes into and while he's waiting for the lunch, he gets out one of those pocket-sized things about this big that could fit into a shirt pocket or a coat pocket, a little notepad. And he writes out a list of groceries he wants to buy. He goes into a grocery store that is about 3 to 4 miles, about somewhere between 2.5 and 3.8 miles away from the diner or the comfort, the family restaurant, whether it's a diner or whether it's a cafe, you know what I mean. And he just keeps loading up the cart constantly, and he picks up a few items that would be appealing to him. One of the things he picks up, because this thing is on clearance, it would normally cost about $59.99. It's on sale for $34.99. It's a Krups coffee maker. Yep. And he gets a couple of different coffee blends. And he just doesn't get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He gets several different types of potato chips, a box of cereal, milk, coffee cream, the air-based, I think it's called Reddi, R-E-D-D-I, whipped cream, aerosol whipped cream, and he gets laundry detergent, bleach, pine salt cleaner, degreaser, bathroom toilet bowl cleaner, tidy bowl, a toilet bowl brush, a real good plunger. So if he really fills up the crapper after eating a little too much, or just one of those bodily function things that happens, he can unclog the toilet. And he gets toilet paper towels, air freshener, ground beef, ground bison, steak, eggs, bacon, breakfast sausage. You name it, he gets it. And he really fills that thing up totally chock full of stuff. And he signs up for a new frequent customer rewards card. It's not a credit card. And he racks up, and I kid you not, over $265 worth of groceries, which can easily happen out there. And everything is in a nice plastic sack. He loads up the pickup bed of his topper camper shell bed, pickup bed. And he drives everything back. He unloads everything. He fixes a little bit of a snack, and then he drives to Bed Bath & Beyond. And he's got a queen-size bed waiting for him when the moving company arrives. Within a few hours. And he gets that. And when he is on the road, and he is about 1.8 miles away from his new house, the moving company calls and says, "We've arrived. We just knocked on the door. Did you leave?" And he said, "Yes, but I'll be right there." He said, "I'm only one." He looks at his GPSing. He says, "I'm about 1.4 miles away. I promise. I'm going to show up." And what he does is he shows up. He unloads the stuff, and he puts everything somewhere where he wants to. And he says, "Okay." He said, "I should have realized that you were going to show up." He says, He says, "While you unload," he says, "I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to change into some work clothes." He says, "Okay, fine. Sure, no problem." That's the good response to the movers. And they're moving in big stuff. First, couches, entertainment stand, other furniture, coffee tables, nice sofa chairs, you name it. And he starts helping them a little bit here, a little bit there, because they can only help so much. And then when they leave, he is so impressed by how well he got treated by them. He says, "I'd like to give you a cash tip." He says, No, sir, we can't accept that. But here's what you can do, if you'd like to grant us a tip. He says, when the receipt is emailed to you of the total, which it will be this much, and it was probably about $5,700 and change. It was somewhere between $5,700 and $5,798. $5,798 and change. He can put in a tip for up to $60. Anything over $60, it's going to be the the billing system's not going to allow it to go through. So about an hour later, he puts in a tip for $40, and he gives a good review for the movers, and he proceeds to unpack stuff. And he also proceeds to he lifts up this huge high-def television that's like a 50-inch or 55-inch. He puts it on the entertainment stand. And he hooks up his digital antenna. And he gets everything going. And he hooks up his hooks up his Blu-ray player, his VCR, and he has it in his mind. He's not going to do it that day, but he's like, I'm going to start searching for a good used electronics place, because I'd like to have an old-fashioned stereo that's really got good sound. I like to have that for a change, so I can listen to some really good music. And I tell you, the next 3 days he does unpacking and unpacking and buying this and buying that and buying and researching this and researching that and getting established with a new physician and the whole thing. So I've done quite a lot of talking. Now, here's what happens after he's been there for a month. He starts researching getting a small bookstore set up in either A, Venice, California, B, Santa Monica, California, or C, Redondo Beach. You know, a place where you can sell a bunch of used paperbacks and a few impulse items. Yeah. Well, I hope all of you have appreciated this story. I did the best I could narrating the whole thing. And it's time for me to go now. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye.